In the studio at the moment, I have a young lady by the name of Abi it's Hypnosis with Abi. We're going to learn a little bit about it. I have to tell you, I've been fascinated my whole life with the concept of it, but all I'd ever seen of hypnosis was what I saw on television. But over the years, I've learned that there is something to it. You know, they say we only use a portion of our brain, right? And probably for me, a very small portion, the portion that I don't develop to sports. But hi, Abi, welcome to the show.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I appreciate it.
No, I did. I grew up watching television where it was, you know, like even Bugs Bunny, I got to say, with the big spinning disc, and it was kind of mystifying, kind of interesting.
Definitely.
But I've been reading, you know, many articles over the years that say you don't use the full portion of your mind, but with hypnosis, you tell me, you can tap into a little more of what's going on in there? And
that's exactly right, yes.
What are the benefits?
Aha! Well, you bring up some very good questions. So here's what's happening with our minds. Think of our minds as an iceberg, and I'm sure you've heard this analysis before, or analogies, excuse me. So the conscious parts of our minds are about 11.9% that scientists have proven that that's what we use. So everything else, the rest of the 88.1% of our minds exists in our subconscious. And the fascinating thing is that even though we don't know what's there, we don't even know what's operating in our subconscious mind, and it is active.
It's like a shooting gallery in my head.
Absolutely. And you can feel it. It's on those days where you're like, well, I'm not thinking, but I can feel something's happening. Yes, exactly. And that's our programming. That's our life script. And so we operate 90 to 95% of our day on that 88% that we don't even know what's there. We don't know what's happening. Our behavior is automatically tuned in to what we call it our life script. It's the messages that we have received about ourselves and the things that we believe about ourselves.
Oh, you mean like the mom who tells you you'd be cute if you just lost a few pounds,
Absolutely.
Or could stand up a little straighter. You
Absolutely.
know, if only you
finish your food.
Yeah.
You can't leave food on your plate. They're starving kids in Africa, and that turns into, an obsessive eating habit.
I have a lot of recordings, and I always think, how do you turn that off?
Yes.
How do you make that stop?
And hypnosis is one of the most effective ways, because as we get to about the teenage years, about 14, 15, we develop a critical mind. And that starts to filter any incoming information. We start developing logic and reasoning and willpower, decision-making. But what it does also do is it traps everything that we've taken in before that time. And so what hypnosis does is it actually kind of creates a doorway through that critical mind so that we can get in there and desensitize some of those negative associations that we've built, that we've kind of got trapped there. So with hypnosis, you don't take anything out. You can never change someone's personality. But
you can't make us be a chicken at 3 o'clock every afternoon.
You can, but there's a caveat with that, especially with stage hypnosis. I know it's something, because that's a lot of people's association.
Well, it is. It's what we've seen.
Right.
So either dispel the myth or solidify it for me.
Absolutely.
What would if I were to come to you, because I've actually toyed with the idea of doing this, because there are certain things that I do not memorize very well, and there are times in other aspects of my life where I have to memorize large portions of information, dialogue, etc., and I'm really not very good at it. So if I were to come to you and I were to say, "Oh, Abi, help me. There's a big section of my brain not working, more than the scientists even know about."
Right.
What would happen? What do you bring out the big spinning Bugs Bunny disc or
No, not at all. Hypnosis is actually all in the voice. And all that I do, number one, it's really important for people to know that you don't go under. You don't go anywhere. You actually stay completely awake the entire time. You can hear everything that I'm saying. You never lose control. You maintain 100% of your control the entire time. And no one can make you do or say anything in hypnosis that you wouldn't say out of hypnosis. So that's one of the first myths I wanted to dispel, because a lot of people are concerned about the loss of control. Secondly, what would happen is basically getting into a state of hypnosis is just by overloading the critical mind. So it's giving you a little bit too much information so that your critical mind shuts down and you're able to go into a state of relaxation and communicating directly with your subconscious mind. Then it's just finding the things, it's finding the suggestions, the phrases that work for you. And we do that prior to putting you in hypnosis because I want to find out what's going on. And I basically just give your brain messages that say, you know, that used to be what you experienced.
So you're sort of the new recording that we should be playing for ourselves in order to live a healthy and full life.
Right. So disassociating from the old recording, creating new neural pathways in your brain so that information can travel differently. And it's been scientifically proven that when you learn new things, new neural pathways are created, and the less you do the old patterns, so for example, the less you use the old patterns of thought, those neural pathways will gradually start to dissipate. And so the more you practice the more preferable behaviors and the less you practice the old behaviors, the stronger and stronger that will become naturally over time.
So if people want to learn more about you and what you do or what might be coming up, lead me in that direction.
Absolutely.
I'm listening to the sound of your voice.
You can go to my website at www.hypnosiswithabi, which is spelled ABI.com.
Okay.
So hypnosiswithabi.com. I do have an event coming up this Saturday, which is basically focused on getting out of your own way to create more success in your life. So I'm teaching a tool called the Mental Bank, which is a tool for getting rid of those habits of procrastination, getting rid of those habits that might stem from a fear of success or a fear of failure or, you know, some deep psychological stuff, but being able to do something on a daily basis so that you can do it in your home. It takes 3 minutes a day. So I'm going to be teaching that technique on
Nice.
Wednesday. Yes.
Well, there you go. You heard it this Saturday. There's a way to learn. An old dog can learn new tricks and good ones, apparently.
Right.
So, again, that's Hypnosis with Abi. And she spells Abi, A-B-I. And I'm sure if you go to hometownstation.com, you can find more information, too.
Absolutely.
Abi, thank you for being here and really dispelling what I was very strangely mystified by, but now I'm encouraged, and this is, I think, a path I'd like to pursue. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.